Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. You bet. USA, you bet. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It is so great to be here in New Mexico. In 9 days, we are going to win this state, and we are going to take back the White House. Thank you. I'm going to fight for every citizen and every worker in New Mexico, and we need to fight. It's time we fought. I want to just tell you, the polls have come out, and they have been amazing. Even before the big blow-up on Friday, we're leading in many of the polls. We're leading in national polls. We're leading in Ohio. We're leading in Iowa. And by the way, we're leading in Florida. Leading in Florida, big. We're leading big in Florida. We're leading in many, many states. And I just wanted to give you a little secret. We're tied. That's not so good. We're tied in New Mexico. We're going to win New Mexico. We're going to win. You know, we set this up just a couple of days ago because we heard how well we were doing here. And traditionally, you understand, Republicans aren't quite there, right, yet? But this is a Republican who is there. We're going to win this state. You're going to be very happy. I'm going to fight to bring your jobs back, to make your community safe and secure, and to deliver the honest government America deserves. This is a great movement, folks. This is really a great movement, a movement like they've never seen before. We are now on the cusp of incredible, historic change that transfers power from a failed political establishment and returns that power to the families and communities of your beautiful state. A beautiful state. Early voting is underway, so make sure you send your ballot. Who's voted? Whoa. Oh, that's great. I'm leaving. You all voted. The hell with you. Wow, that's a big percentage. That's fantastic. All right, so for the 7% that hasn't sent your ballot, hasn't voted, please vote. If you want, you can leave immediately. No, it's a little late. But get out and vote. Everything matters. And it's going to be close. It shouldn't be close in New Mexico. We're bringing your jobs back, folks. Shouldn't be close. Real change for New Mexico begins with immediately repealing and replacing Obamacare. Very energetic group, I have to say. But, you know, it's like this all over the country. It's like this all over the country. We fill up hangars on one day's notice. It's all over the country. It's like this. They want to see America be great again. That's what they want. That's what they want. They're tired. They're tired of the Iran deals. They're tired of the jobs being stolen from us. They're tired of a great, great military, the greatest people on earth, but their military is so depleted, they've let it go. Using jet fighters that are so old they can't get parts to them anymore. This isn't what we stand for. Your largest health insurer, Presbyterian Health Plan, is pulling out. You probably heard it. Blue Cross in your state is raising rates by, do you want to hear this? Put your hands, because I'll depress you. You want to go home and go to sleep. 93%. This is Obamacare. 93%. I just left the great state of Arizona. Feel good because they're at 116% increase. And it doesn't work. It's horrible health care. It doesn't work. The deductible is so high you'll never get to use it. It's so high. So it's a horrible thing. We're going to repeal it. We're going to replace it. We have so many unbelievable alternatives. Much less expensive, and great health care. Much lower deductibles, great health care, and much less expensive. It's horrible. How we got into this mess. Do you believe it? We have wars we never win. We have borders that don't exist. Everything we do, it just doesn't work. You know, the fact is, I say it all the time, our country doesn't win anymore. We're going to start winning again with everything. We're going to start winning again. New Mexico will be one of the states hurt most by Obamacare. You see that with the number I just gave you, unfortunately. And New Mexico families won't have enough money left over to pay their bills or to get medicine for their children. You are amazing people. I'll tell you, you're great people. You're great people. You're great people. A lot of people in this country, they've been hurt. They've been hurt by incompetent politicians, by politicians that just take care of themselves for special interests. You're great people. So elect me and we will stop the premium hikes in New Mexico and all over the country. We will stop the Obamacare madness. It's madness. It's madness. In Minnesota, where the premium increase will be close to 60%, not nearly as high as New Mexico, the Democratic governor said the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. And I use this quote because it's so correct. Hillary Clinton wants to double down on Obamacare, making it even more expensive. In fact, much more expensive. And folks, it's not going to work, okay? And I said it before they passed it, and it was passed with lies. You remember Obama 28 times. You can keep your plan, you can keep your doctor. Guess what? You can't keep either. And he also didn't talk about these kind of increases. And next year's going to be worse. Next year's going to be worse. So she wants to double down. I think she's got bigger problems right now, if you want to really know the truth. What a time we're living in. I'm asking for your vote so we can replace Obamacare and save health care for every family in New Mexico and in the United States. Real change also means restoring honesty to our government. We all know about Hillary's mounting legal troubles that she has brought onto herself with her serial, willful, purposeful, and deliberate criminal conduct. Hillary Clinton is not the victim. You, the American people, are the victims of this corrupt system in every single way. And folks, this is your last chance to save it. I really believe that. Oh, that sounds good. This, oh boy. I love the sound. But that's an old one. That makes a lot of noise. That's okay. I still love the sound. This is your last chance. You're not going to do it. In 4 years from now, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know that. You know what's going on. Now the FBI has found, you're not going to believe this one, this just happened, another 650,000 emails. How do you get to 650? I think that's called the mother lode. I think they found them all. So the 33,000 that she deleted and bleached, I think is going to be in the 650. But how do you have that many emails? What do? Sit down all day and just keep typing? Hey, no wonder nothing gets done in our country. This is the single biggest scandal since Watergate. My contract with the American voter begins with a plan to end the rampant government corruption. I want the entire corrupt Washington establishment to hear and heed the words that we, not me, we are all about to say. Ready? When we win on November 8th, get out and vote, get out and vote. We're going to Washington, D.C., and we are going to drain the swamp. You know, I've made a couple of these massive speeches today. The crowds are always so big. And I said, you know, drain the swamp. I didn't like it. It started 2 weeks ago, right? And I said, it sounds so hokey. I don't want to do it. And they said, no, it's something that's cute. It's nice. Let's see. Who knows? And I gave it to one group. They went crazy. Then I gave it to another group. They went crazier. And then people at the third speech, they started screaming the words to me. I didn't even say them. Mr. Trump, drain the swamp. And then what happened? Well, and then what happened? Go ahead. Amazing. You never know. You never know in life. You never know what works, but that one works because people are going crazy over it. Drain the swamp. And, you know, and then I went, and all of a sudden everybody's going crazy over it because it's so descriptive. But you never know in life what works. Frank Sinatra did My Way. He hated the song. He didn't like it. He said it'll never work. Then he sang it, and people loved it. Sang it again. Then it went out, became the #1 song. Then all of a sudden he loved it, right? That's the way it works. But at the core of my contract is my plan to bring back our jobs. And that means the great jobs, really, really good jobs. We've lost so many of them, but great jobs for New Mexico. Right now, 70 million American women and children live in poverty or on the brink of poverty, right on the brink. 43% of African American school-aged children live in poverty. 34% of Hispanic school-aged children live in poverty. This is unacceptable in the United States. This is unacceptable. As your president, I will go into the poorest communities and work on a national plan for revitalization. That's what I do. That's what I do. Under budget and ahead of schedule. Remember last week I opened the hotel. Under budget and ahead of schedule. That was one of 8 stops. And I wanted to see, because I had my kids, Ivanka, Don, Eric, they were in charge of the hotel. And I wanted to, she shouted, yay. They're good kids, I will say that. But I wanted to be there for the ribbon cutting. And Hillary said, he took time off from the campaign. I was there for 2 seconds. In the meantime, I made 8 stops. Stopped in Washington. We cut the ribbon. It was beautiful. It was great. And I said, under budget, and I wanted to do it for that reason, to congratulate my kids. It's going to be one of the great hotels. A lot of jobs, a lot of everything. Everything's good. But one of the great hotels, the country will be very proud of it. Okay? But what I really wanted to say is we built it under budget and ahead of schedule. Isn't that nice? When we do things in the country, highways, roadways, we don't do too many of them anymore. We don't build bridges anymore, right? We don't build tunnels anymore. But when we do things, it's always double, triple, quadruple the cost. It takes 5 times longer to build it than you thought. So under budget and ahead of schedule, we will replace decades of failure with generations of success. We will bring prosperity to our poorest communities, safety to our most dangerous neighborhoods, and hope to those places which have not known hope in a very, very long time. New Mexico, and you love New Mexico, right? Man, that's a lot of people. We'll get a bigger hangar next time. I have a lot of friends that live in New Mexico. It's an amazing place. New Mexico has lost nearly, here's the bad news, 40% of its manufacturing jobs since Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, a deal strongly supported by crooked Hillary. America has lost 70,000 factories. Think of what that is. I always say it's a typo. 70,000 factories since, what are they, having an alarm over there? What happened? Is that an alarm going on? There's so many people in here. That's some alarm. That's all right. Let it run all night, why don't you? You know? They'll figure out how to turn it off. America, but think of this. America has lost 70,000 factories since China entered the World Trade Organization. 70,000 factories. Another Hillary-backed deal. We are living through the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. They're taking our jobs. They think we're babies. We're not going to allow it to happen anymore. Next, Hillary and her donors want the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which will destroy countless more jobs in New Mexico. It's another deal. By the way, the good news is it will never be as bad as NAFTA. Nothing can be. NAFTA is the worst deal ever signed, trade deal, ever signed by any country at any time. But TPP is going to be a disaster, believe me. Overly complex, too many countries. We want to make deals 1, 2, 3 straight lines, right? And if the country doesn't behave properly, we send them a notice of termination, and then they call us back, and they give us an even better deal. You have to see this. You have to see this Trans-Pacific. It's all over the place. They don't know what they're doing. Almost 6,000 pages, and I guarantee you, like Obamacare, our people don't even read the pages. A Trump administration will stop the Trans-Pacific Partnership, renegotiate NAFTA, and we're going to stand up to China and China's currency manipulation, which is killing them. And I have very good relations with China. There's nothing wrong. China's doing the right thing. The only thing wrong is that our politicians allow them to get away with it, believe me. We're going to start making things in America again. We are going to start, very importantly, making things in New Mexico again. As part of our plan to bring back jobs, we're going to lower taxes on American businesses from 35% to 15%. That means more companies opening up their doors in New Mexico. This place will be hot as a pistol, I promise you that. Be hot as a pistol. We're going to massively cut taxes for the middle class. The middle class family in New Mexico with 2 children will get approximately a 35% tax cut. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, is going to raise your taxes by almost 50%. And think of this, we're the highest taxed nation in the world. And she wants to raise you. That's a really good idea. Raise taxes. Go ahead. We're going to lower your taxes big. We will also unleash your vast energy resources in New Mexico to bring jobs, wealth, and higher wages to your state. We will become a rich nation again. And New Mexico will become a very, very rich state. That's okay. But to be a rich country, we must also be a safe country. Violent crime increased 53% in Albuquerque last year. Did you know that? 53%. What's going on out there? What's happening? 53%? That's a lot. Why? Why? I'll tell you a big portion of it, but honestly, without having studied it greatly, I know the 53% number, you know the number, drugs pouring into New Mexico. So we're going to stop that. No, don't worry, we're going to build the wall. Don't worry about it. We're going to build the wall. We're going to build the wall. And Mexico's going to pay for the wall, and they'll be happy to do it. We have to stop the drugs from pouring into our country and poisoning our youth and poisoning everybody else. I'm going to support our local and federal law enforcement officials in order to reduce violent crime in New Mexico. That's a big increase, 53%. That's about as big as I've heard. That's a big increase. Every family in New Mexico has the right to live in safety and in peace. You have that right. But Hillary Clinton also wants a 550% increase in Syrian refugees coming into our country. Hillary's refugee plan means generations of terrorism, extremism, and radicalism spreading into your schools and into your communities. When we win, we will suspend the Syrian refugee program. We have no choice. And we will keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. We have no choice. A Trump administration will also secure and defend the borders of the United States. As I said, we will build the wall. Mexico will pay for the wall. They'll be very happy to do it. Mexico's making a fortune off the United States. We have tremendous trade deficits with Mexico. They'll be very happy to pay for the wall. Trust me. Just rely on me. Do you think I can do it, folks? Rely on me. Rely on me. And we're going to have a great relationship with Mexico, by the way, but it's got to be a fair relationship. You know, right now we have a one-lane highway going into Mexico. They've got our jobs, they've got our factories, they've got our money, they've got everything. You know what we have? Drugs and unemployment. We've received the first ever endorsement from ICE and from the Border Patrol officers. Big endorsement. They've never endorsed a presidential candidate before. And these are great people that want to do their jobs. You know, it'd be much easier working for Obama or working for crooked Hillary. Because, frankly, when you're working for Hillary, she wants to let people just pour in. You could have 650 million people pour in, and we do nothing about it. Think of it. That's what could happen. You triple the size of our country in 1 week. Once you lose control of your borders, you have no country, folks. You just have no. And we want people to come into our country. Just so you know, I want people to come in. And some should come in through merit, the merit system. There's nothing wrong. But we're going to have big, beautiful doors in the wall. And we're going to have people come into our country, but they're going to come in legally, right? Legally. We want them to come in. We need people to come in. Hillary has pledged open borders. The immigration officers warn that Hillary's plan is, quote, the most radical immigration proposal ever put forward because it's just open. The immigration officers also warned that Hillary's radical plan would result in the loss, think of this, of thousands of innocent American lives and an uncontrollable flood of illegal immigrants across the border, taking jobs, and crime would be rampant. As we speak, we are in the middle of an unprecedented crisis on our southern border. The agents on the ground say it's the worst they've ever seen, and that the American people aren't being told the truth about what's happening. But you people know the truth because you're here. People, drugs, and cartels are pouring across the border. This crisis is putting enormous stress on your schools, your hospitals, your jobs, and your wages. You know that. Do you know that? I mean, everybody knows that. Low-income Hispanic Americans are often those hurt the most by illegal immigration, which people are really now seeing. And we're doing so great with the Latino vote, with the Hispanic vote. We are doing. You know, it just came out. There was a story. I was just given the Bay of Pigs Association, Cuban, just gave me in Miami the award, the great award, an unbelievable award, just 2 days ago. And they just did a big story in Florida because we're doing unbelievable. The lines are 4 blocks long. They've never seen anything like it. And And everyone's talking about, Trump is getting the Hispanic vote. What's going on? I knew that. I knew that. I knew it. Because people that are here, Latinos, Hispanics, people that are here, you want your house, you want your job, you want all of these things, and you want security and safety. I mean, I understand that. But the Cubans gave me their most coveted award, and it was a great honor, I will tell you that, and we're doing fantastically. I will protect jobs for Hispanics and for the Hispanic American community in New Mexico. When I become president, we will keep the cartels and the gang members out of New Mexico. We're sending them back. And we will protect the jobs and security of every worker in your state. We're here to protect. We're here to bring jobs in so you have plenty of choice at lots of money. We will also repeal Obama-Clinton defense sequester, rebuild our badly depleted military, and take care of our incredible veterans. How many veterans are here right now? How many veterans? A lot of veterans. Our veterans have not been treated right. Do you know that we have 22 suicides a day among the veteran community? 22 said, "We love you too." I don't know, that guy sounds pretty rough. He loves me. He sounds very rough, but I still love him. He's obviously are you a veteran? Yes, right? Yes? He's a veteran. We're going to take care of our veterans. They haven't been taken care of. But think of it, 22 suicides a day. You know, there are two numbers that stick out. 22 suicides a day you would think is not something that is even thinkable, right? And the other is when you have 70,000 factories that have left our country and go. Those two numbers, I thought that was a typo. And the 22 suicides a day, I had to check. I had to say, is that possible? But the waits are so long to see a doctor, sometimes 2 weeks. But you wait 4, 5, 6 days to see a doctor. And a little prescription, a little procedure could save your life. And these are our veterans. These are the greatest people in our country. We're going to take care of our veterans for the first time because they have not been taken care of. There was a story recently, a couple of weeks ago, about a highly decorated veteran who lived out of a dumpster in a certain area of our country. Lived out of a dumpster. That's not going to be happening anymore, folks. We will rebuild our badly depleted Air Force, the smallest and oldest it has ever been. That means massive new investments. Did you ever hear of a place called Kirtland? Huh? Kirtland Air Force Base right here in New Mexico. A lot of investment going there. It's a great base, too, by the way. We also need a new foreign policy that puts America first. Hillary brought disaster to Iraq, Syria, Libya, and every place that she touches. She empowered Iran, and she unleashed ISIS by leaving that big vacuum. And you know, I tell the story of Mosul. You know, we had Mosul until Obama and Hillary got out, and then they took Mosul back. But now we're fighting again. But I tell the story. Why can't we use the element of surprise? For 4 months, we've all been hearing, we will be attacking Mosul in 4 months. I say, why are you doing this? Why are you saying it? Why do you have to talk? Then I hear in 3 months, we're going to attack in 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. Then a couple of weeks ago, I heard, in 1 week, we're going into Mosul. And then I said to myself, why are they doing this? Why don't they use the element of surprise? General MacArthur, General George Patton, boom, you know what they're doing, right? They're spitting in their grave. They can't even believe it. Very tough. And you know, one of the reasons they wanted Mosul, the ISIS leaders, and we do have to take ISIS out, you know, that's got to take that out. We want peace through strength. We don't want to be in wars, but these savages are chopping off heads, drowning people in steel cages, burying people in the sand. We haven't had, this is medieval times. This is medieval times. and then we can't do waterboarding. It's far too tough, you know. We're fighting on a different level. See, we're fighting on a different level, folks. And we have to be tough, and we have to be smart, and we have to be, in some cases, pretty vicious, to be honest with you. Pretty vicious. But we have to take them out. And then we have to get back to building our country, because our country, we've spent $6 trillion in the Middle East, $6 trillion. And we could have rebuilt our country twice. $6 trillion. And you know what? The Middle East is in far worse shape than from our standpoint. If our presidents would have gone away, let Obama go play golf every day. I won't mention other names, but if our presidents would have just gone away, we would have been a hell of a lot better off than we are right now. Let them go to the beach. They could have gone to the beach. And Hillary, she has such a bad relationship with so many countries. Putin can't stand her, doesn't respect her. It's a nuclear country. I mean, I've listened to what she says about Syria. We'll end up in World War III over Syria with her. Believe me. You know, there's something nice. I don't know Putin, but wouldn't it be nice if we could get along actually with the other countries? Wouldn't it be nice? Be nice. Be smart. They want to get ISIS. We want to get ISIS. We put everything together. We knock the hell out of ISIS. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be smart? Imagine if some of that money had been spent building new schools, roads, bridges in New Mexico and the United States. Wouldn't that be nice? Remember, folks, $6 trillion, and we're in much, much worse shape than we were 15 years ago. We should have never gone in to Iraq, but we should have never gotten out the way Obama took us out. Never. It left the vacuum, and from that vacuum, ISIS formed. Hillary was there, and now you listen to her. We will stop ISIS. She's got zero chance. ISIS's biggest dream is that Hillary Clinton, crooked Hillary, becomes president of the United States. They dream. Because look, they started, remember the junior varsity, right? Obama said, they're the junior varsity, some junior varsity. So they started as a very small little seedling, and they grew out of the vacuum left by the way we got out, right? The vacuum in Iraq. And they grew. Right now, they're in 32 countries. 32 countries. And she's been there. If she could have stopped them, she would have done it already. I'll stop them, folks. I'll stop them. Believe me. Hillary and her friends have dragged us into foreign wars that have made us less safe, and foreign wars that we never win, that have made us less safe. They've left our borders wide open at home, and they've shipped our jobs and wealth to other countries all over the world, including Mexico. To all Americans, I say it is time now. It is time for new leadership and smart leadership. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So nice. I love these young, beautiful children up front. President Trump, President Trump. They love the country already. Everybody's going to love the country. And folks, we're a divided nation. We're a totally divided nation. We're going to come together. We're going to have love. We're going to have love. It's going to be a much more unified, hopefully a totally unified country. Just think about what we can accomplish in the first 100 days of a Trump administration. We're going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan. Hillary's going to raise taxes. We're going to eliminate every unnecessary job-killing regulation. They're a disaster. We'll cancel every illegal Obama executive order. We will provide school choice for New Mexico's children and put an end to Common Core, so we bring education local. We are going to rebuild our military, and we are going to take great care of our great veterans. We will support the men and women of law enforcement and save the Second Amendment, which is totally under siege. The National Rifle Association endorsed me, the earliest endorsement they've ever made for a presidential candidate. And I have to tell you, Wayne and Chris and all of those folks, they are great Americans. They love this country. That I can tell you, NRA. So to have their endorsement is very important. But believe me, your Second Amendment is under siege. It's under siege. And with me, there will be no under siege, I promise you that. And we will appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Hillary Clinton wants us to think small, wants us to believe things can't change, and wants our lives to revolve, and that's so true. She wants our lives to revolve around Washington, D.C. I'm asking you to dream big. Remember in the old days, dream big. Our country used to dream big, to push for bold change and to believe in a movement powered by the people and by their love for this country. And it's true. Even these really dishonest media people, the world's most dishonest people. Don't worry, you won't be on television. They never show the crowd. You know that, you've been hearing me say, they never ever want to show these massive crowds. These are among the most dishonest people on earth. They never want to show the crowds. I go home, I say, did they show the crowd? No, they show my face. I'll tell you though, when they hear the roar, it sounds like an Ohio State football game, right? Amazing. Amazing. Very dishonest. They're very dishonest people. The other night I had 17,000 people at an event, and one of the anchors was saying, we're here at the Donald Trump rally. He's got a few thousand people. A few thousand is not, you know what? A few thousand people is not 17,000 people. A few thousand people to me is 3,000 people, okay? But there is a level of dishonesty that I would never believe is possible. But we're gonna win. We're gonna win. I've led a great life. Now I want to give back to the country. And this country has been so good to me. I love this country. You know, I was on the other side. I was on the other side for a long time. But I love this country, and I saw what was happening, and we were going in the wrong direction. And I went from like the ultimate insider to probably the ultimate outsider, wouldn't you say? I'll have spent over $100 million of my money on doing this. And a lot of people, they say, the greatest political phenomena they've ever seen, they say it. But you know what? And somebody, one of them actually said to me, it doesn't matter. Listen to this one. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. What you've done is created something that's never happened in this country before. Let me tell you right now, if we lose on November 8th, I have wasted tremendous time, energy, and money, believe me. Believe me, it will be a total waste of time, energy, and money. But I saw what was happening, and I'm with you. I've spent a career finding the untapped potential in projects and people all over the world. Everywhere I look in this country, all I see is untapped potential waiting to be set free. I'm tired of politicians telling Americans to defer their dreams to another day when they really mean defer their dreams to another decade. You know that. America is tired of waiting. The moment is now. We're never going to have another chance. Forget 4 years from now. It's not going to happen. This is almost like you could say a miracle that's taking place. Knock on wood. It's almost a miracle that's taking place. We're leading in the polls. We're leading in the states. This is special. You have to get out every last vote because you know the odds are stacked against us. You do know that. Get out and vote. We're going to win it so big. This will be Brexit times 10. So we have to go and vote, and we have to stop believing in failed politicians and start believing in each other and really believe in our country once again. We're going to do it. There is no challenge too great, no dream outside of our reach. There is no dream, folks, outside of our reach. Don't let anyone tell you it can't be done. The future lies with the dreamers, not the cynics and not the critics. Hillary's been there for 30 years, and she's accomplished nothing. She's just made things worse. She will never get the job done. Hillary Clinton is the candidate of yesterday. We, not me, we are the candidate of the future. Our movement represents all Americans from all backgrounds and all walks of life. We're asking for the votes of Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and first-time voters, of which there are many. You know, in the state of Texas, they were trying to say, because the polls are crooked, everything's crooked. Man, it's a rigged system, folks. But they were saying we were very close in Texas, and a man got up today from Texas. He said, I want to tell you something. We have the biggest turnout in the history of Texas. We're up 50% more than we ever were. And those votes are all going to Trump. And I've been watching you guys talking about how it's close in Texas. It's a blowout in Texas. This guy was great. The blowout. And he said, and people are coming to vote who have never voted before, but they love our country. And people are coming to vote who haven't voted in 20 years because they're excited. And they walk in, these are non-voters, and they walk in with Trump shirts and Trump buttons and Trump hats. They didn't vote before, and now they have all the stuff because they're now energized. They're energized. These are great Americans. These are also great Americans. We are asking for the vote of every American who believes truth and justice, not money and power, should rule the day. We are fighting for every citizen who believes that government should serve the people, not the donors and not the special interests. We are fighting to unlock the potential of every American community and every American family who hope and pray and yearn for a better future. With your vote, we are just 9 days, can you believe it? I started this journey a year and a half ago, June 16th. Remember coming down the escalator with Melania? And it seemed like such a long time. And now, looking back, it seems so close. And we started off with 17 people, all talented, governors, senators, Dr. Ben Carson, who was a great guy and who endorsed us. Ben endorsed us. He's a great guy, I will tell you that. But all talented people, and then one by one by one by one, And I listened to the pundits, and they say, well, Donald Trump is not experienced. I said, well, you know, that's okay. But one by one, and they did a report at one time, they were comparing experience. I had 4 months experience, and they had 233 years. In other words, when you added it up. And here we are. We only have crooked Hillary to beat. We got to beat her. We're going to beat her. You want to know the truth? You want to know the truth? I think the least of her problems right now is this race, okay? We are just 9 days away from the change you've all been waiting for. You've been waiting for this change your entire life. Get out and vote. You're going to look back at this evening and you're going to say this was a very important part of your life. More importantly, you're going to look back at that vote when you sent that vote in. You're going to look back at that ballot, that vote, and you're going to say it was the single greatest vote you've ever cast, because that's when our country started winning again. And you're going to be proud of your country again, and hopefully you're going to be proud of your president. Because I'll be working hard. Going to be working hard for you. Together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. God bless New Mexico. Thank you. Get out of here.